There are celebrities who charm a demographic, and then there's Jin from BTS, who somehow manages to enchant every generation like a K-pop Pied Piper with a heart of gold. From toddlers who mimic his dance moves to grandparents who smile at the way he speaks so politely and respectfully, Jin's universal appeal goes far beyond music. It's not just his face, though yes, worldwide handsome is very much a thing. It's his aura, that special mix of warmth, humor, humility, and humanity that makes people of all ages feel like they know him and want to protect him. Let's be honest, not many global stars can pull off goofy dad jokes, offer deep emotional comfort, and serve runway-ready visuals all in the same breath. But Jin does, naturally and without effort. When kids watch his playful side, whether it's him dramatically reacting to spicy food or wearing silly costumes, they laugh without needing to understand a single Korean word. His expressions say it all. Meanwhile, older fans are drawn to his impeccable manners, his strong sense of responsibility, and how he always puts family and health first, values that cross all cultural boundaries. It's not rare to see clips of Jin making staff members laugh behind the scenes, or bowing sincerely to fans and crew alike. He treats everyone with respect, from his fellow members to the smallest child in a concert audience. That sincerity, it doesn't fade with fame. It's part of what made him famous. At fan events, Jin goes out of his way to connect, talking slowly and clearly with international fans, leaning in when someone's nervous, even offering comforting words if someone tears up. He's not just an idol. To many, he feels like a friend, a brother, or the kind son you'd be proud to introduce to your family, and maybe that's the real secret. Jin doesn't act like a celebrity who's better than anyone. He acts like someone who wants to be remembered not just for his music, but for how he made you feel. And in doing that, he's not just winning fans, he's winning hearts across every generation. Jin's multi-generational charm isn't some marketing strategy cooked up in a corporate boardroom. It's real, unfiltered, and consistent. When you watch Jin interact with kids, something soft and instinctual takes over. He crouches down to their level, speaks with that gentle tone you can't fake, and gives them his full attention. That's not performance. That's character. And when older fans meet him, it's not about the glitz. It's about the way he listens intently, smiles sincerely, and radiates a kind of old-school respect that feels rare in today's entertainment world. Even in chaotic environments like airports or concerts, Jin is the one who stays composed, who waves at fans even when he's tired, who politely nods at the crowd when security tries to usher him past. He remembers that every moment, no matter how brief, might be someone's first and only chance to see him. And he makes it count. That kind of awareness? That's the mark of someone raised not just to shine, but to share the light with others. Then there's the way he talks about ARMY in interviews. It's never robotic or rehearsed. It's heartfelt. When Jin says he misses fans, it doesn't sound like lip service. It sounds like someone who actually feels the absence of that connection. And that connection isn't just with 20-something K-pop stans. It's with parents who brought their kids to BTS concerts and found themselves enjoying every second. It's with grandparents who noticed Jin bowing after every performance and thought, what a well-mannered young man. He bridges generations not by changing who he is for each group, but by being consistently himself. Kind, respectful, witty, and emotionally generous. In a world where image often takes priority, Jin reminds us what it looks like when authenticity is the image. And that's why it's no exaggeration to say Jin isn't just the oldest in BTS. He's a timeless figure who makes everyone, regardless of age, feel seen and appreciated. There's something profoundly comforting about Jin's presence, like emotional gravity dressed in Dior. He's the kind of person who can light up a stadium with his voice 1 minute, then quietly check on a staff member the next. He doesn't need to shout his kindness. It shows in his eyes, in the small gestures that cameras often miss, but fans never forget. That's why stories of Jin helping translators backstage or patiently waiting for an interpreter during international interviews go viral. Not because they're grand, but because they reflect who he is when no one's watching. Jin's love for ARMY, especially, is the thread that holds everything together. He's not just thankful, he's protective. You can hear it in the way he encourages fans to take care of their health, or how he often reminds them not to wait in the cold or stand too long just to see him. That kind of genuine concern cuts through the usual idol-fan dynamic and lands somewhere much deeper. It's familial. He doesn't see ARMY as a number. He sees them as part of his story. This emotional devotion shows up in unexpected places. During BTS's concerts, especially in solo moments, Jin often locks eyes with fans in the crowd. holds their gaze, and offers a soft smile or a wave that feels personal, even in a sea of thousands. Fans describe these moments like time stopped, and for a second, it wasn't about stardom, lights, or fame. It was just Jin and one fan, sharing a silent, unforgettable exchange. What makes this even more powerful is that Jin never lets his global status become a wall. He breaks it down, every time, with humor, honesty, and a stubborn refusal to let the spotlight isolate him. He sings to you, laughs with you, and thanks you in ways that feel like he means it. Because he does. Jin doesn't just appreciate ARMY, he treasures them. And if you've ever felt seen by him, even through a screen, then you already know. That's not just fan service. That's love. Jin's relationship with ARMY goes far beyond fan culture. It borders on something almost sacred. He treats them not as spectators, but as companions in a shared journey. And the proof is in how he talks to them, not at them. Whether it's through Wever slevs, handwritten notes, or his signature blend of chaos and sincerity, Jin never lets the bond feel transactional. Instead, it feels deeply human, almost like he's writing to a friend he's missed for a long time. Remember his enlistment message? He didn't try to sugarcoat the sadness. He joked, he reassured, but he also said he'd miss ARMY. And you could tell it hurt him to leave. Because Jin doesn't see the stage as just a job. He sees it as a place where he meets the people who gave him the courage to grow. For someone as naturally reserved as him, this kind of emotional openness isn't easy. But he offers it freely, again and again, like it's the least he can do for people who have loved him without condition. Even during his solo tour, you could see how intentional he was about including ARMY in every moment. From customizing setlists for each city to mentioning local fans by name during soundchecks, Jin proves that connection is his true performance. The fans aren't just watching a concert, they're part of it. And that atmosphere? It's built not just on music, but on mutual respect. A rare, beautiful loop of giving and receiving love with no pretense. This is what makes Jin so quietly revolutionary. In an industry obsessed with spectacle, he leads with soul. He doesn't chase trends or force relatability. He just is. He's the hyung who makes you laugh when you're crying, the idol who remembers your birthday sign in the crowd, the superstar who pauses mid-performance just to say, I see you. And that's why his humility hits so hard, because it's real, it's rare, and it never forgets who it's for. ChatGPT belong. It's no exaggeration to say that Jin's humility is the secret ingredient that turns admiration into loyalty. He could easily stand on stage, bask in applause, and let the adoration speak for itself. But he doesn't. Instead, he actively redirects that spotlight, acknowledging the fans who lined up for hours, the ones who traveled from across the globe, the people in the back rows holding up tiny banners that say, "We love you, Jin." He makes sure they know he saw them, that he felt them, and this humility isn't a show, it's his foundation. You see it when he shares credit with staff members, thanking the camera crew, choreographers, and stylists who often go unnamed. You hear it when he reminds fans that BTS's success is just as much theirs as it is the group's. In a world where it's easy to fall in love with a fantasy, Jin insists on being real.
Flawed, kind, sincere.
Human. Even his humor, goofy, self-deprecating, never mean-spirited, is a form of humility. He's the first to call himself worldwide handsome and the first to laugh at how absurd it sounds. But beneath that joke is someone who's aware of the pedestal he's on and refuses to let it change him. Instead of taking himself too seriously, Jin invites fans into his world by making them laugh. Not at him, but with him. And that's why fans don't just support Jin, they trust him. They believe him when he says he'll return after military service. They believe him when he promises to work hard, because he always has. And because he's always shown up, not just in songs and stages, but in moments of quiet care. A smile through the screen, a wave from the car window, a message that says, "Eat well, stay safe, I love you." Jin doesn't just perform for ARMY. He carries them with him. Every city, every rehearsal, every late-night live stream where he's in pajamas, just talking like he's FaceTiming a friend. That's the kind of love you can't fake. That's the kind of humility that makes a legend feel like home.